Okay. And you don't know if you took a test the day of the debate?
Possibly I did, possibly I didn't. But
Did you catch those town halls last night? My God. It was like two different worlds. So I'm going to get to a few clips in a minute here, but I just want to give a quick overview of what my impressions were from these two town halls. So, of course, these town halls only happened because Trump backed out of the second debate. So ABC held a town hall for Joe Biden, and then NBC came in this week and announced a town hall with Donald Trump at the exact same time as Joe Biden's town hall, essentially gifting Trump, a free hour to spread his BS. But I think it actually backfired on Trump. Because if you were like me and you flip back and forth between the two town halls, it really was night and day. Trump's was complete chaos. He was evasive when it came to answering any question, whereas Joe Biden was calm, cool, collected, and actually had substance when answering these questions. Now, of course, if you have followed my work at all over the past couple of years, I've been very critical of Joe Biden because he was going up against Bernie Sanders in the primary. And Bernie Sanders has an actual real plan when it comes to substantive change in creating a society that works for everyone. Whereas Biden is pretty much the Obama status quo. But going between these two town halls, I mean, once I switched to Biden's town hall after a commercial break during the Trump town hall, I didn't want to go back to Trump. It was like going almost back in time in a way and just seeing, oh my God, here's a leader who actually answers questions and is calm and is empathetic when doing so. Now, again, yes, I'm fully aware of Biden's weaknesses and his platform is not strong enough. But when you compare Trump to Biden, it is just completely night and day. So let me get to, and I hope other people saw that as well. I hope if you were watching it, you did flip back and forth and it was apparent that there was only one leader out of the two town halls. Now, let me start with the first clip here. I'm going to focus mostly on the Trump town hall simply because there was more news coming out of it. The Biden town hall, you kind of got what you expected if you've already seen him answer questions about his platform. But let me start with a clip from the Trump town hall where he answers a question, or I should say doesn't answer a question, about his most recent COVID negative test and if he took a COVID test before the first debate.
When was your last negative test? When did you last remember having a negative test?
Well, I test quite a bit, and I can tell you that before the debate, which I thought it was a very good debate, and I felt fantastically. I had no problem before.
Did you test the day of the debate?
I don't know. I don't even remember. I test all the time.
Okay, and you don't know if you took a test the day of the debate?
Possibly I did, possibly I didn't. But the doctor is very accurate information.
All right. Now, I could have gone on and showed you the entire 3-minute clip, but Trump evades that question 3 times, whether he took a test the day of the debate, like he was supposed to. In fact, it was apparently, according to Savannah Guthrie there, the moderator or the host, it was based on the honor system. The honor system. Whether the campaigns took tests or not, it was based on the honor system. So they trusted the Trump White House to test Trump before the debate, and he did not answer whether he took a test or not. Meaning, he either took a test and it was positive, so didn't tell anybody, or he took or he didn't take a test at all on the day of the debate. It's very possible, in fact, very likely, that he had COVID on that stage during that first debate, and knowingly had COVID, potentially hoping to give Biden COVID as he saw his poll numbers dwindling, and maybe as a last-ditch effort, get Biden sick before the election. Of course, this is my speculation, but would you really be surprised if Trump went in that first debate knowing he had COVID-19? Would that really surprise you? It wouldn't surprise me at all. So that's very likely. Let me get to the next clip here where Trump would not deny owing the IRS over $400 million.
I don't love what's happening to San Francisco.
Well, do I hear you right? It sounds like you're
1290
saying
Avenue, the
$400 million isn't that
One of
much.
the biggest office buildings.
But are you confirming that yes, you do owe some $400 million?
What I'm saying is that it's a tiny percentage of my net worth.
What else is there to say? That's him saying yes. Confirming the New York Times story about his taxes, that he didn't pay taxes for 10 years and owes over $400 million. And this is the main reason why he doesn't want to lose the election. Because once he loses, then the IRS is going to come after him. But as long as he's president, he's protected from having to owe that money. And this is also what people close to him have said as well. So before I get there, ProPublica had this piece out in last year, but this is an issue that's been brought up over and over again, including during the Michael Cohen hearing. Never before seen Trump tax documents show major inconsistencies. The president's businesses made themselves appear more profitable to lenders and less profitable to tax officials. One expert calls the differing numbers versions of fraud. It is fraud. He overinflated his assets when it came to borrowing money, and then devalued his assets when it came to paying taxes. That's tax fraud. As Michael Cohen said, Trump's biggest fear is ending up with a massive tax bill and face possible tax fraud charges. This is Trump's former personal lawyer. He knows Trump very well. This makes total sense. Combining this with the New York Times reporting, with Trump not denying that he owes the money, of course, all of this is true, and Trump essentially just confirmed it. Next story, or I should say the next clip, watch Trump be evasive here when it comes to questions around whether he supports herd immunity.
There's been some talk, including from the White House lately, that perhaps it approves of what's called herd immunity. That's where you basically just let young people and everybody get sick. You try to protect the old people and those who are sick, and hopefully it gets up to a certain level, and now we're all immune. So let's just be clear about it. It also means more deaths. Do you support herd immunity as a strategy? Essentially just let people get sick.
The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. We did the right thing. We were expected to lose 2,200,000 people and maybe more than that. We're at 210,000 people. One person is too much. It should have never happened because of China. It happened because of China. And you have to get that and understand that. But it shouldn't have happened. But we were expected to lose. If you look at the original charts from original doctors who are respected by everybody, 2,200,000
That
people.
2 million figure, though, is if you literally
saved 2
did
million
nothing.
people.
The 2 million figure is if you did absolutely nothing, it would be 2 million.
If
The
we-
question is,
if
should
we
the deaths be better than 200,000 when,
I don't
relative to the
know.
rest
Let
of the
me
world,
tell
we
you
have
what
a
is
worse
happening.
death rate?
I left North Carolina, which I love. I left Pennsylvania.
This is a perfect example of how the entire town hall went. Completely evading the question. Do you support herd immunity? And then he just blabs on. That goes on for like 3 minutes. He never answers the question. And what Savannah Guthrie did there was, she should have pushed a little more about the comparisons of the U.S. to other countries, because that's how you really can judge performance. Putting the numbers into context, comparing it to other countries. So Trump says there, well, we were expected to lose 2 million people. Every country had those estimates. Every country. Those were estimates based on if you did nothing. In Canada, they were estimating up to 75% of people would get the virus. We're nowhere near that. The numbers still aren't good, but we're nowhere near 75% of people getting the virus. Every country had these estimates. They all reached well below those estimates because most countries did something. But the real way to judge performance is comparing the U.S. to other countries, which I try to do on this channel all the time. You're probably sick of this graph. I've showed it so many times. This is daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases per million people. Look at the U.S. compared to other major countries. This says it all. They're not even out of the first wave yet. This is the first wave, going into a second wave, now into a third wave, but really it's all part of the first wave. The first wave never went down like these other countries had. So this is how you judge performance. The U.S. needs to do a much better job of bringing this up. I know Savannah Guthrie tried to mention it there, but Trump was talking over her. But you have to bring up comparing the U.S. to other countries. And the Biden campaign has to do this more as well. This is the only way you can judge success. This is the only way you can show the American people that Trump has failed. Now, let me play one more clip here. This is from the Biden town hall. And look, this town hall was just, it was, as I said earlier, it's kind of what you expected. So let me just play a clip here showing you how Biden approached some of these questions.
So what we should be doing now, there should be a national standard instead of leaving this up. Remember what the president said to the governors. Well, they're on their own. That's not my responsibility. The governors can do what they need to do, not my responsibility. It is a presidential responsibility to lead. And he didn't do that. He didn't talk about what needed to be done because he kept worrying, in my view, about the stock market. He worried if he talked about how bad this could be unless we took these precautionary actions, then in fact the market would go down. And his barometer of success in the economy is the market. Thirdly, what we didn't do is the president had an opportunity to open and allow schools and businesses to stay open if they got the kind of help they needed. So the Congress passed a couple $2 trillion worth of help, and what happened was most of that money, significant portion of that money, went to the very wealthiest corporations in the country, didn't get to the mom and pop stores. So you had 1 in 5, 1 in 6 minority businesses closing, many of them permanently, people being laid off. And then what happened was when the first tranche of the first round of money for unemployment, enhanced unemployment, went by, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. And to the best of my knowledge, and I mean this sincerely, I can't think, I've been around for a lot of presidents, and you know a lot of presidents in a crisis. I don't ever remember one never calling the House and Senate, Republicans and Democrats together.
And that is pretty much how the entire Biden town hall went. He actually answered questions. He was direct. He was empathetic with the person that was asking the question. He gave substance. That went on for 3 more minutes. I just couldn't show you the entire clip, but Biden goes on to be more specific about what he would do in this pandemic. Night and day, as I said. This may have actually helped Joe Biden. If people did what I did and flipped back and forth between the two completely different worlds. And I think a lot of people, a lot of Americans they're just tired of this shit. They're tired of Trump. They're tired of his insanity. They're tired of the chaos. Even apart from all of the crap that he has done directly, all of the damage that he has had on society. Even apart from that, just the chaos. People are tired of the chaos. They're tired that every single day there's something new. It's impossible to keep track. There's a million stories going on right now. Yesterday, Trump discussed or bragged about the murder of a U.S. citizen that he potentially ordered. I mean, that is a massive story, and it's barely being talked about because there is so much going on. So, look, if you want some more information, watch both town halls. And I would also love to hear what people think. Did you watch both? Let me know what you thought in the comments below.